Dear friends, it has been scheduled. New bonus relief payments are expected to arrive for many Americans starting this fall. These checks have been approved to help assist low-income households cope with the rising gas and housing prices. One household can claim thousands of dollars. My dearest friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Tomorrow and every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the $75 Walmart gift card giveaway. My dearest friends, please make sure that you enter these giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways.
Where is enough enough? I think we've grown over the last 2 years of enterprising with the Biden administration to where government in our country is way above the historical average of wherever it's been. I believe that we need it. We need to save Social Security and Medicare. This doesn't seem like a very practical discussion in terms of how do we do it when you're hemorrhaging that much year after year. So when it comes down to, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Schwagel, where do you see the total government expenditures being? We know where the Biden budget wants to take it. If that's what Bidenomics is about, that's a destiny towards a Chapter 11 for the government someday. Are these numbers that ominous in terms of the blueprint out there currently for the biggest business in the world?
We analyze the budget under current law, and the near-term challenge under current law is net interest payments, right? So which are rising sharply from less than $500 billion a year ago, and are set to triple over the next 10 years. So that's kind of the near-term challenge. And then the entitlements, we're talking about Social Security Day, Medicare is just after that. So once you get to the kind of 9-10-year horizon, the entitlements are really the driver of the fiscal challenge.
They're the structural drivers. And then would you say Medicare is more significant in driving that, or Social Security? And which, again, you don't like to talk about policy, just tell me which of the two is growing in the wrong direction most precipitously.
Social Security is closer, but as you look over time and into the sort of far off decades, the increment in Medicare is.
And you know why? Because as little as 35 years ago, that was 5 to 7% of our GDP. Mm-hmm. Now it's approaching 20, and that's another issue. It's the biggest sector of our economy that hides itself behind free enterprise, and there's no transparency. There are barriers to entry. If we want to focus on policy that would really make a difference, that'd probably be the thing we could do, but we're still then beset with a business plan that has to start begging the question, how much do you want through government? Am I correct in saying that revenues over a 50-year period have been stubbornly in a narrow bracket?
That's right. The 50-year average of revenues is about 17.4% of
okay.
GDP. So right around there.
Where has it ever gotten out of that stubborn bracket? And that's high tax rates or low tax rates. You have less economic growth, right, when you have higher general tax rates. You have a little better economic growth when your rates are lower. Do you agree with that?
In general, that's what our analysis.
Okay, good.
Rebate checks will soon be on the way to 2.5 million residents of Minnesota, with the Minnesota Department of Revenue taking the first steps in the refunding process. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has officially allocated nearly $1.2 billion to be returned to taxpayers in the form of stimulus checks. This is after a record-breaking budget surplus this legislative session. Paul Marcotte, Minnesota Department of Revenue Commissioner, told reporters, "A major priority for Governor Walz and Lieutenant Flanagan is to get these rebate checks out to Minnesota residents. So the amount that will go back into your bank account depends on your gross income in 2021. So if you made $75,000 or less as an individual, you can expect a $260 rebate check Couples making $150,000 or less per year can expect a $520 rebate check. Families can expect to receive more of a rebate depending on the number of their dependents. An additional $260 for each dependent, up to a maximum of 3 dependents. So the maximum credit for a family of 5 is $1,300. In order to qualify for these checks, you must have been a Minnesota resident for part or all of 2021 and not be claimed as a dependent. The Department of Revenue expects to begin sending out the checks or electronic direct deposits in your bank account this fall. State Senator Ann Rest says that these checks come at a time when families need it most. She stated, "I think and hope they'll come in time for those who have school expenses for their family or even for themselves." The Department of Revenue says the rebate checks will not be taxed by the state, but they are unsure if the checks will be taxed at the federal level. Also, the state of Illinois has announced a third round of $4,000 rebates for the purchase of an electric vehicle. The Illinois Electric Vehicle Rebate Program offers $4,000 off the price of a new electric vehicle and $1,500 off the cost of an electric motorcycle, with money made available from the Illinois Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. The third round of rebates opens November 1st, 2023, and runs through January 31st, 2024, or until funding runs out. Applications will become available on October 18th, 2023. Low-income residents are prioritized by the program, although the rebate is subject to funding availability. In addition to the Illinois rebate, buyers can also benefit from the federal government tax credits of up to $7,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Dear friends, please leave a comment in the section below if you plan to purchase an electric vehicle. Now, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin says he is thinking seriously about leaving the Democratic Party and declaring himself an independent before the 2024 election. This is when he will have to decide whether to run for a 4th Senate term or wage a third-party bid for president. Senator Manchin, who earlier this year described himself as an independent Democrat, said, "You have heard me say a million times, I am not a Washington Democrat." The senator's interest in becoming an independent comes after Senator Kristen Sinema announced her decision to leave the Democratic Party and register as an independent. However, Senator Joe Manchin said this Thursday that he is not ready to make an announcement about his future with the Democratic Party immediately. Manchin says he will decide at the end of the year whether to run for a 4th Senate term or run for U.S. president as a third-party candidate backed by no labels. This is a bipartisan centrist group that plans to raise $70 million to put an independent third-party candidate on the presidential ballot next year. The senior senator from West Virginia faces a tough re-election race in a state that former president carried with 68% of the vote in 2016 and 29% in 2020. So dear friends, what are your thoughts on this? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Well, my beautiful and my most amazing friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this evening. My dear friends, tomorrow I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. Please make sure that you enter these weekly giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Thursday.